A cheer is still a cheer. All right. It's not a cheer if someone doesn't sit on it. All right. Okay. Um, as I told you, the first half hour, where we had a whole reggae, old school reggae, and then now we have this Luther Vandross. You can see from Matika, we are going to talk about this lower voter participation by immigrants in Sweden. And I think sometimes we don't think about it, but it's very, very serious. And to be able to influence policies and their the policymakers, they have to know that you vote. If you don't vote, then they just take it for granted. And then considering the what we have right now, it's not really working because
No, not at
they don't
all.
care about us. They
At
come
all.
with laws, and it doesn't even matter if we have one or two people in parliament. What can they do? The 360
What can they?
something, yeah,
Yeah,
on one person, it's not going to help. So
it's not gonna
today
help.
we're, yeah, myself and my brother Victor, we're going to talk. By the way, as you can see from the ticker, Victor is the publisher of the Afro Community Magazine. If you see this magazine anywhere, it is exclusively for the Afro community. Please, you can always get in touch with him. We have to make an impact, but we cannot do that if we don't really, really try to use the media that we have. And I would strongly recommend people use this Afro community. Subscribe, please. Victor
Yeah,
can even
I'll just
let's
put
see.
it this way.
Yeah,
Let me say it this way. Afro community
yeah.
is not it's not done by just me because a tree cannot make a forest. I happen to be editor and a publisher, but I have a collection of people who support this brand when it comes to stories, interviews, transcriptions, photos, and everything. It's not a tree cannot make a forest, you know. So we are doing this magazine because Africans in Sweden need to have a platform where they can be on the covers, where they can tell their own stories by themselves. You don't have to summarize your story. You tell it the way it is, and we don't have to rewrite it. We put it just the way you spoke it. That is why we came up with Afro community because the African in Scandinavia, in Sweden, has come of age. You need to participate. We need to know the who's who in the community. You need to speak out. When there's injustice meted on you, you need to speak out. When there's a policy that is not going down well with you need to speak out. You cannot sit in your house and expect things to go right. Look at what we have today. We have a far right coalition where the laws are made putting you at the receiving end. You're complaining and complaining, but nobody sees your complaints. Some of you don't even want to say anything because you're still scared. Scared of what? Look at where we are now. We're at the lower rung in Sweden. And if you don't start speaking up, case will be the case of a situation. They far outnumber us in the parliament, and that's why they're doing this. But we could also speak out so they know the true feeling of the African, of the black man living in Sweden. For long you have been realized you cannot sit down and continue. You need to speak up and you need to participate, which is the topic of today's discussion. You need to start participating in elections. You don't need to be a citizen to vote in your municipality. Bring in somebody that tells you. You need to start participating. And that is why we came up with Afro Community to support the African in the diaspora, but especially in the Scandinavia and in Sweden, especially.
As you
Yes,
can
my brother.
see, there's a telephone number there you can call and make your, have your say on whatever we are discussing here. Because at the end of the day, it's you we are trying to get involved. So we want to hear what you got to say. You know. So you have the number there. That is 4670-477-9737. And I am your host, Quincy, and my co host and brother, Victor, the Afro community. What we really want to hear from you is why the, let's say, the level of participation in voting among immigrants, sure, among us, is so low because we can vote at any time. The thing about Sweden, which is very unique, in most countries you have to register and everything. But Sweden is, I mean, as soon as you reach the age, as soon as you reach the requirement to vote, they get a voting card. They say, yo, they know. You know, it's kind of automated. And if you think,
Yes,
okay, well, I can't go to vote because I don't have, and it's on Sunday. That's the thing. I think it's always either the first or last Sunday in September after the 4 years,
yes,
and then you can vote early. And they have time. They have a whole month. You have all these, put them all over to make voting easy and accessible. All you need to do, you go with your ID. They have everything. You can vote anywhere before the election day. It's only on election day you have to go and vote in the precinct where you're registered. You can be, let's say you take the train, the central station. They have them there. Just go there. The schools, they have them there. So we have to we are living in this country. We have to participate. If we don't, elections have consequences. Like now, for example, they are trying to change, let's say, the Minister of Immigration. She's trying to find hubs outside the EU. And I heard she's been to Ghana and the other places. What are they saying? As soon as you get your rejection, your application is turned down, there is no way you're going to stay. They will take you immediately and send you to one of these countries. Before, you remember when they had this job thing, like, okay, you can work, and I think it was 13,000, right? You have to.
yeah,
That is before tax.
yeah, 13
Yeah,
plus, yeah.
that is the brutto. Now they raised that to 27,000.
I heard they just made the median to 34,000.
34, yeah. Now it's
Yeah.
34. And so the thing is, so most of the things that are happening because people don't vote, and when you don't vote, and the
You
people
don't have any
who
power.
are really determined, they will vote. And that is what we have to start thinking. How are we going to be able to influence? How are we going to be able to make a difference? Yeah, my
And,
brother.
and then the funny thing is, we have municipalities where black people and immigrants are prevalent.
Yeah, yeah.
We in the whole of Stockholm, I think we have a fighting chance.
Yeah,
In,
Stockholm has
in
been fighting.
Malmo,
Yeah, Malmo also
so
has.
yeah, many other places like this. But the thing is, some people, and from what I got from the interview I had with the deputy mayor of Malmo,
Yeah, yeah, Malmo. Yeah,
yeah,
I
so you
saw
have to
it.
be, yes, you have to be in a municipality. You must have lived there for 3 years before you can vote. People have already done,
No,
so
they've
they
done
are
it.
already able to vote.
But the funny thing is that Victor, to buttress what you're saying, so they know as soon as your time, let's say, because let's say if you citizens as a citizen, you can vote in the local election, local council, you can vote for this what is it, legislation, you can vote
Yes,
for parliament. That is the
yes.
only thing. But if you've lived here 3 years,
Mm,
automatically they send you when they send you the voting card, it's there
mm.
what and what you are able to vote. If it's
Mm-hmm.
municipality, legislation, all this, you have it there. All the numbers
Yes,
are there. So
yes.
I think I know it's a little bit early because on to the next election, hopefully by the next election we'll be having let's say sensitization conversation with people before the election. Even if
Yes.
we have to go out and meet people and talk with them. Because
Yes.
that's the only thing. Election is not only about participation in voting. It's voting
Yes.
you have to influence. When you vote for people, they are going to be there for you.
Mm-hmm.
And as I always
As
ask
I,
you,
I've been having this with some of the players in the
yeah,
African
yeah,
community.
yeah. So
When I had an interview with Malcolm Momodou Jallo, he's a member of the Riksdag, which is the parliament,
yeah,
Swedish
yeah.
parliament.
Which party is he
He,
representing? Is
I
it
think he
is it
is
the
the
environment?
party, the left party, the
Okay,
Venstre party,
okay,
Venstre
Venstre
party. Yes,
Petiet, yeah.
yes, the left.
Okay.
So you could see from his explanations that he really wished that a black man in Sweden understood the importance of participation,
It is.
understood the importance of being at the table where your destinies, my destinies, are being discussed. As long as you live in Sweden, you have to fight. There are blocks. You have to align with the right power block that is going to do your kind, people like you, a good favor. Like for instance, you are African. You came from Africa, and most Africans in Sweden are at the lower rung economically when it comes to jobs and even salaries. Some of us don't know. When you look deep into your salary sheet and compare with the
The other people.
I mean the other people, other citizens who are white, you see a lot of discrepancies in yours. You see that they earn more than you. You have to
Yeah.
study twice to be able to earn the same salary as one of theirs.
Yeah.
And this is institutionalized that you might not know if you don't look deep. And there are so many ways that we are on the lower rung. When it comes to apartments, you look for an apartment in some areas, you never get it because your name doesn't sound a
Yeah.
particular way. You have to have a Swedish sounding name for people in these positions to be able to give you certain things, like apartments, for instance. You stay in the queue,
Yeah.
only God knows how
Which
long you're going to stay in the queue to get an apartment. And when you get, eventually, you get in certain areas, but not in certain areas. And
yeah.
what will shock you is the last election I had with the deputy mayor of
Malmo.
Malmo. She spoke about some of these things, and because of this racial bias,
Mm.
they actually had to remove, Election League Brev.
Yeah, yeah. By the cover letter,
That
cover
is,
letter.
yeah, the
Yeah, the
cover
cover
letter that
letter.
speaks where you talk about yourself, your
Mm.
ethnicity, your background. They had to remove it because they don't want the supervisor reading your letter to know your ethnicity. We think it's a step forward. It's not the whole hall. We would like them to
Mm.
do more, but it's a
Yeah.
step in the right direction. It's still things
Yeah.
like this they're talking about. When people see your name already, they know where you're from. they can automatically place you in a box.
Yeah, it's true.
You know. So, but all this
There's
boils
another
down
way.
to participation.
Participation. And the thing is that I think apart from participation, I think the reason why we have such a low level participation is information, civic, civic education.
She
I was
spoke
at the
about
work.
that too.
Yeah, I
Yes.
was about. I was this workshop organized by Forbidden Rhodes in Tenstar. How to organize, how to influence, and be at the table. Because one of the things that came up was if you are not at the table, then sure, you are going to be on the menu. And that's very, very talented because if you are not there to participate in a discussion about you, then of course people are going to talk and take the decision over your head. So we had that, and one of the things that struck me most was, and the good thing was that this workshop took place in Tenstar. And the thing is that Tenstar is such a vibrant place as Rinkaby, but I think the people have given up that, well, whatever I do, nothing's going to change. And that is the biggest mistake you can do. Go, try, get information, improve yourself. But people, I don't know. So there are two things: the the civic education, the absence of civic education, information. It's like someone. Oh, Victor has just disappeared. Maybe I think it's your internet. Okay. While we're waiting for Victor to join us back, I think he's got problem with his internet. Let's continue to listen to some old school. To hold it tight and no one there you can kiss goodnight. It's the there's nothing in there but blue. But I'm not a house, and a house is not a home when not two of us are far apart, and one of us can't grow. We've lost Victor, but I think he's coming back. Sounds like that with a technical thing. This was Luda Vandross. So we're still hanging on here, hoping for Victor to join us. Feeling she gave to me makes me feel so crazy. Love you forever. There's no other like you, baby. No one but you.
No cigarette smoking in my room. No alcoholic beverage in my room. You give me up and drive.
What happened? Aha, okay. Okay. What? Yeah, yeah, do that, yeah. Okay, yeah. Protect you from the storm, world outside. You know I love you, baby. No need to worry about me. Now be gone for a while. Keep that perfect. So let's see when Victor is coming, then we just tell me what am I supposed to do? Why you got me sitting here waiting on you? Baby, hurry, come back and give me some love in this afternoon. Cause I can't wait to see you stop and stay a little while and do the things that only rebel music now. Give them some rebel music now. Well, it's a rebel music, don't you confuse it with that crap that the bugger them producing. It's a rebel music, don't you confuse it. Me at the baddest lyricist, so watch me prove it, yo. Me used to run the weed a lot, no me start to read a lot. Out down, about town, the system want to keep us locked up in the prison mentally, they want to defeat us. In the street, where my feet touch, by the school, them never teach us. Nothing more than break and beat us. Now them off is on weed and clappies and deepers. Officers, preachers, doctors and lawyers and liars. The royal alliance are your people. From our beaters, from Jesus to leave us. Used to rock and people, no one locks a people. Babylon, my guns up all you need up. I grab the microphone and tell the preacher black woman, them black police up. No use my teeth out, the knowledge from my people. No for them big vex at the college when my leave out. Upon the week out, I can make the youth a seek out. I have a dream and it's not bound to be close. Come back and be running, this is Monday, yeah. The game it will never be the same, yeah. Rebel music up in the change. So free to get the youth from the change. Come back and be running, this is Monday, yeah. The game it will never be the same, yeah. Rebel music up in the change. So free to get the youth from the change. The youth them not got no way out. So we have to block the layout. Got a lot to say out. And nothing for you must not shut and rail out. Babylon, me want to chop your brains out. But me rather teach the people if each one side say equal rights. We take it to an equal height. Whether you're Hebrew, Israelite, or Rastafarian, where heights of the king will take a seat up high. Just listen the lyrics that where we provide. Take a seat, meditate, make sure you're breathing right. If life is a book, it's a you're reading light. 360 degrees in night. And when them come and copy rabbit, it is Monday, yeah. The game it will never be the same. Rebel music are in the shade. So free to get the from the shade. Old school. Yeah, we are riding. Oneness. Our troubles away. Reggae business. No. So long goes the trouble. Riding on a high and windy day. It was a high and windy day. Deep in the month of May. We're riding on a high and windy day. Let me tell you how the story goes. Riding my troubles away. Right away. Hey, then I was riding on the highway with my queen beside me, watching all my struggles and my troubles pass by. While I'm thinking that on my mind, every day is like a Friday.
on my mind when I'm cruising through. Reading a book, swallow the Rubik's too. Yeah. Solving my puzzles like a Rubik's Cube. Till that place of divinity I'm moving to. And I'm moving through like a soldier. Any obstacles in my way, I push them over. Never gonna fold up like a page in a book of life. It's just another episode of Sarah Shea. Deep in the month of May. So now I'm moving in, trying to escape the sin. Oh, living and appreciate the gift that I've been given. It's a mission to reach the people's hearts. Spread joy and love to the corners of the world. Spread the message, cause the message must be heard. Till every boy and girl, every wife and man, are bringing love across the land. So jump on board and please hold on.
Oh, Victor is back with us.
I'll keep singing the same old song. The story is sad, but the story must go on. So please join in there, check my mind. Read between the lines and see what's behind.
Okay, we continue this.
Because we need to tear down the wall.
I don't know why my internet decided to shut down just when we were discussing very important things, you know.
Deep in the month of May.
Okay, now we are back. Okay. Oh, that's the thing with this technical thing. Okay. Victor, stay with me.
Yes, I'm with you here, man.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's it was this crazy. Let me just see here. Okay. Let me just put a number there that they can call if at all they want to say something. Okay, yeah, you were saying something before you just the internet just disappeared. Okay.
Just took me out of my flow.
Yeah, it just took you out of that's what happens, because
That's one of those things.
Yeah.
So we were, I think I was talking about participation because I just had an interview with Amani Lubani, one of the deputy mayors of Malmo municipality. Yeah. So she reeled out the three. They discovered over time during every election, the immigrants' participation increased every time there was an election. They do their own in-house statistic taking. Yeah. But at the last time around, there was a depreciation. There was a dip.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they had to do their research. Even if they won the election, they had to do their research on why there was a dip, why the immigrants' participation was lower this time around. Yeah. So they found out there are three major reasons for this. One had to do with the information that is getting to the people. I think the second one has to do with forgetting their cards or not being with their voter card or something like that. But the third and most pertinent one was what she spoke about, when the emotional disenfranchisement.
Yeah.
That is the people not feeling that their vote counts. What would have led to this? There's no other reason for this kind of disenfranchisement other than the fact that the cities or the country itself is getting continually hostile to foreigners, to immigrants, especially the people. Yes, when you don't feel wanted in a place, your drive, your participation level drops.
Yeah, drops, yeah. Because you don't think you'll make any difference.
Yes, exactly. You don't think it makes any difference. It doesn't change the national rhetoric about the country is caused by the foreigner or the immigrant. You immigrant, go back to your country. No matter how long you have stayed here, the first thing is the color of your skin. And if morality of the population begins to feel that immigrants are not wanted, then you don't even like to show up.
Like you're a bottom.
Yes, you feel somewhere in your subconscious, it registers that you are the burden of the society, you are the problem. And during this period, they make sure these people or these political parties that use immigrant as a political tool, as a weapon, they made sure that they highlighted on the crimes of the immigrants, this crime statistics, and they blamed it on the immigrant. I mean, imagine something happens in, say, one or two places, they highlighted those things on the national TV, that it is the immigrants that is causing the problem. So you and I begin to feel the brunt. People who do this thing are not up to 1% of the immigrant population. But why do you make that? Yeah,
0.001.
Yes,
But I think
problem.
Yeah,
these are problems that they should tackle behind the scenes. You know these people, tackle it behind the scenes. Why you make it a national issue and then you dampen the drive of the image? It's not fair.
Yeah, it is.
And this is the third reason she gave, and I kind of agree with her, because you know there's so many people who don't like to take the trains, the tunnel anymore, because you sit one place and somebody else doesn't want to sit close to you because you're black.
Some people feel, that is, I don't know. Sorry, Victor. Victor, that's the thing that has been here for such a long time. That I don't use the public transportation that much, but one thing I always know, is I don't let such things, maybe I might think differently. I don't let such things bother me, because I don't want anything like that, anything like negativity or someone to live in my head rent free. Because at the end of the day, when you react like that, it's you. The person who has done the thing, they've done the thing. So what I think, what
I don't let that bother me
either.
I don't let that bother me either. But
there are people who, it bothers people. I know.
For instance, you go into a shop, and they focusing on you.
Yeah, they follow you. We just say
you might say, and I might sit here and tell you that I don't like that. I don't let that bother me. But the truth is, you don't want this to happen to you. And the truth is, somewhere in your subconscious, it's already registered that these guys are monitoring you. You are the focus. You are the focus. And trust me, if anything happens in the shop and you are around, you become a major suspect. Even celebrities face this kind of things. But this is what you have to deal with as a black man living in Scandinavia.
Well, as an immigrant, so this is everybody that is.
No, because sometimes people say immigrants, but most immigrants are white skinned too.
No, people of color. Yeah, people of color.
People of color, yes.
Yeah. So I always use the word people of color just to anchor, because trust me, sometimes people try to say like, okay, because let's say people from the Middle East, they face the same problem. They face the same, because I always try to make sure that, because if we just concentrate on one, because this is a problem that affects everybody.
There's something I used to tell people when they bring this argument you bring in now. I used to tell people that from a distance of maybe 1 mile or scope, I can only see black and white. You understand? From say you're like 1,000 meters away, I can only see black and white. I cannot tell the difference between an immigrant from Middle East and a Swedish person. It's only when you come close. So sometimes you see that this guy said it's not easy living in the black skin anywhere in the world. Because what you see is you're like 70 meters away, walking
Yeah.
on the pavement. Someone else is like 70 meters away, walking on the pavement, and you just find that the person takes the other turn. And you know, subconsciously, you know these things, he takes the maybe crosses the road to the other side. This is a subconscious battle,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it must not be allowed. It must not be allowed to dampen our drive, but
Yeah.
it is a major factor because of the way that most immigrants came here. You have to pass through a system that puts you under a probation for a period of time before you get your papers. During this period, you don't want to be found in anything that has to do with suspecting you for a crime. And even
Yeah.
if you are involved in a case where you are not guilty, but there is still a process of finally of deciphering who is guilty. It might affect you. It
Yeah.
might affect you. There's a lot of scenarios. That is why our people in the community decide
Yeah.
not to engage at all. They're not engaging with the system, and the system continues to frighten you with deportations.
Yeah.
So sometimes you don't even know if you're having a word with somebody and a banter with somebody, and the person calls the police and they say, this guy says this guy is this and this. You don't even know what, because it gets to that level.
Yeah.
You have our people. We are here to build confidence in our people to come out, participate.
Yeah.
Participate.
I think the whole thing is organizing ourselves, trying to. I think one of the things that I believe in, because I know a lot of people, are affected by that. They think about that a lot. Okay, and we have to give them that. We have to give them that not everyone is we say feels at home. So we have to give them that confidence that yes, you are here, because I believe as long as you are here, you have the same rights as everybody. And
Yeah.
what I always say, if you have your rights, like this Nina Simone said this, you know your right, you know, and you have to make them give you your right. And you have to let them know that you have a right and you know that you have a right. Because the moment you don't fight for that right, nothing is going to change. And the only way I think we can change this narrative is to make sure our people are aware of their rights. Okay, they're
Yes.
trying to make them aware of the right, and then this again, I emphasize this civic education. Sorry, you know, make sure you arm yourself with all the information that you can use, that you know. Or sometimes it's not
Yes.
easy for the people, and that is where I think, again, if I come, that is where most of these organizations have failed.
Yes. Yes. One
Yeah,
of it,
yeah,
like you said, information is key. Information about how to vote, where to vote, and then when to vote is key, and who to vote for. Who is championing a cause that is going to be favorable to you? Because we see now that we're far outnumbered when it comes to the national. I mean, we have only 2 black people in
Elizabeth. Mm,
amongst 349
five, 14, nothing like that.
members of the House of the federal House
Yeah.
in
But
Sweden.
the thing is that even if you have more people there, I don't think it's not there. It's not in parliament. If you look at, let's say, it's the local
The
government.
municipalities.
That's where, because Because one thing I know, let's say Sweden has what they call this parliamentary system. Parliamentary
Mm.
system means that, and then they have this proportional representation. So it means it is your party
Mm.
that nominates you. So when you're there, you are representing your party.
Yeah.
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 So for you to so I think we shouldn't put too much blame or say we don't have that many representation in parliament. It is we who have to organize at the grassroots level. Because once you
Yes.
organize at the grassroots level, then you can be able to influence what is happening in your municipality.
You're right. You're
That
right.
is the thing, because parliament, yeah, it's okay, but when you're going there, it's the party. You are going to
But
toe
then
the party
again,
line.
you find that the immigrants are now, they have, like, okay, there used to be just the Venster Party with the, it used to be the what's it called, the Social
Social,
Democrat Party.
social democracy, yeah.
Yeah, where everybody says, okay, this is the party that has our interest. And then we had a breakaway kind of, and then we had the Venster Party now has the immigrant cause at heart. And then we have a third party which is focusing on the Muslims. You don't understand? And then we have a new party called the New Reforms Party, which focusing on the blacks. You
Okay.
see now that we have four parties that have split the.
Yeah, that is instead of having, the thing,
Yeah,
it has
that's the
become like
yes. And
we
I
dilute.
asked when I yeah, there was
Sorry.
a time I had a talk with Arif Sedat. He's also one of the deputy mayors in Malmo. He spoke about these things, about breaking the numbers instead of piling them in one
Yeah.
punch, in one powerful
So
punch.
you
We now
dilute the
have
voting block and everything. So
yes, yes, yes. Where and we now have a house in Malmo where the Social Democrats cannot work with the Venstre Party, which are two parties that used to be for the immigrants, but now they cannot even work together.
hmm,
You know.
okay.
And then we have the other party, which is from I think I've forgotten the name of the party, but I'll get the name again. I'll still talk to the chairman there. It's for the
Hmm,
Muslims. It champions the Muslim cause. And then we have New Reform. New Reform
okay.
is a new party by
Is it
Marco.
down there in Malmo? They have
No,
this because
actually it's in Stockholm, and
uh-huh.
it's championed by Waza Congo. It's
Okay.
from I think it's from Congo.
Okay.
So, but it's majority black party. So you see
Okay.
now that all the forces are breaking apart instead of filing all their forces in one punch.
Yeah.
So that is why that is another area where we have to. If all of them have to be separate, they have to know that at a particular point they have to be together.
Yeah, because the thing is that if we all divide ourselves to this different thing here and there, we're not going to change anything.
You
Because
can't.
then we are going right back to where people. Because one thing about these small parties with just one focus is that you will have one person that will have the drive and then wants to get everybody on board. But then why not just say, because that is, apart from that, let me just take this broad. That is the biggest problem, even among the immigrants, let's say among the Africans. We don't
You're
try to
right.
find a common ground where we can work together.
You're right.
Like say,
You're right.
okay, say,
You're
okay,
right.
what is it that we need as a community? And then try to pull all the different groups, organizations within that community to work towards a particular goal. But we don't have that.
No.
And that is, and the reason for that, I don't know. I mean, I can only speculate. You can even see it among our promoters. It's like
Yeah,
everybody wants to be the boss there. Everyone is only there for their own interest.
yeah,
So they
you're
say,
right.
okay, let's come together and work together and do
You know,
something.
I
Yeah.
told you the last time when we had this talk. I said initially I was about to form an African Elders Forum where they're going to sit and discuss. Though it's still on, but we don't have
Yeah.
the right material yet. We don't have the right
Okay.
kind of people who have the right kind of mindset. Everybody is coming for what's in it for me.
Yeah.
Everyone takes money from them, but no one looks at the bigger picture that you are here. You have to use your to make others follow the right path. Like
Oh,
during elections, make others know who is holding our info. You cannot sit down as an elder or as a figurehead and not tell you the right direction. This is where we should cast our vote. Your influence holds a lot of sway, but if you decide to keep quiet because you're working well and somewhere and you're coming back home and you have your kids and you look, by the time they finish up all those ones who are on the lower rung, they're going to come for you
yeah.
because
Yeah.
in the long run, these parties like the racist part, the far right party, what they want is total 0% immigrant. Just get out of this country. They want this country to be as it was years back.
But
But
it
they
won't. I
forget
mean,
that
it can.
the world
Mm,
is about immigration. You must migrate. You must move.
mm.
People move for different reasons.
No, I think what
You know.
they tend to forget is when you restrict immigration or migration, it affects the economy.
Hmm.
Because let's say the whole of, let's say, the Western world, if we call them that, they are having an aging population.
Yes.
And they are not getting kids at the rate to compensate for this aging population that is slowly disappearing from the workforce.
Hmm.
And the only way you can get this to compensate for that is to have, if let's say, migration.
Yes.
Now, if you start that, I was reading a report because, like America, they have this deal right now. Where they're talking about invasion, this blah blah blah. So the Republicans. But when you look at it, they did a study that at the rate at which the American population is aging, and then they calculated the contribution of immigrants to the American economy is almost like 1.3, I think it was $1.7 trillion a year. Now, if you remove that, what is going to happen? It's going to affect the economy. And even
Yes.
Sweden, if you look at it, Sweden economy is not doing quite well. It's not doing well.
No, we're
It's
on the
not doing well.
downward trend.
Yeah,
And to tell you
because
the
like
truth, most restaurants cannot afford these
no, they cannot also
meals.
employ anybody. They cannot. They
They're not.
cannot. Their turnover for the day or for the month is not enough to cover
Yes.
their expenditure.
I don't understand the basis for the new policies. I don't understand. Without exemptions,
No, they don't have
do you want
because
British people to work in restaurants? The answer is they cannot.
yeah,
Most of these Arab shops cannot employ and pay
no,
30,000 to their staff. They
no, they
can't.
cannot. They can't. They can't. The
Not
thing is,
not
no, they can't. They can't. No,
not cleaning. So
no. I
who
mean that
who
one is
and these businesses pay tax.
yeah, they pay tax. They have some, and the thing is that when you employ someone, you have to pay a lot of because let's say like I think if you and I like they say okay 34,000 crowns like what they say right, but that
Mm.
34,000 when you add everything, the social, the insurance, this and that, you know, because you have to pay about 33%. So you get 34,000, you think, okay, netto, brutto. Netto, depending on where you're living, if the tax is high or low, maybe you end up getting something like 25, 26,000, right?
Mm.
But
Mm.
then for the employer, you've already cost the employer something like 60,000.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is the? I think what they have to do, and then they had this thing where teenagers, or let's say those who were, they could what was it now for the employer? They could reduce this employment tax. They could, but now they've removed that, and most of the things that the incentives that the employers had, they've taken away those ones.
Mm.
So the thing is, you cannot tax people to death.
You
You have to
can't.
find another way.
Yeah.
So I don't. To be honest, we've just veered away from the main. That is this
But the truth is,
voter participation.
you cannot, you cannot continue like the current
No.
situation. You must have a middle ground.
Yeah.
If
The
you
thing is,
are, if you are putting up policies, the policies must have a human face. We know that Sweden has done pretty well for itself when it comes to a lot of areas.
yeah,
But over time, and because of politics, because of winning elections, politicians have used methods that are not completely human, that are very, very absurd and deplorable to win elections, only to come back to continue to use those rhetorics to perpetuate themselves, to continue their rise. Because this vibe they give this vibe that the foreigner is a problem. If you say the foreigner is a problem before election, after
okay,
elections we're better, but you're still going about talking about foreigners. You have not expelled more than the last party did. So I don't know what they're talking about. Face the policy. What's happening? Talk about the inflation in the country. Why are people all of a sudden paying more rent, more electricity bills? Why is food prices getting higher? Why is salary not getting higher than as the food prices are going higher? Why is salary still
yeah.
getting? So why do you keep talking about the foreigner when there's inflation in the land?
Well, it's very easy to. Always try to find a scapegoat, and
Yeah,
the
it's a
scapegoat.
scapegoat mentality. They're using you to make the public think that you are the
Yeah,
problem. If
yeah,
there's a
because
problem, there's a way to fix it. You
oh, they can
cannot
fix the
keep talking
problem.
about foreign. Every time, immigrant. What are you doing? Let's see what you are doing apart from immigrants. Immigrants cannot be your problem. What are you doing for the economy? There is inflation. What is it? Is it the immigrant that's causing the inflation? No.
No.
They're about to remove. They suggested the removal of Akasa.
Yeah,
They
yeah, but
suggested the reduction. I mean, they suggested
yeah,
the reduction of Akasa. I mean, who's
but
muting
that's
that?
something. But that's something people pay to. You pay
That's
to
what I'm
Akasa.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's saying that this government is leading us backward. It's leading us backward.
Yeah,
All of a
but you know
sudden,
what? Yeah, but what I think that one. Yeah, because what I'm thinking, this is the time. This is the opportunity that we have. Okay, say what can we do? Because the policies are there. There's nothing we can do about that. We're not going to change those policies. They're there. And one thing, I think it's the same problem all over, where you have our emphasis has always been too much on income, job,
hmm,
instead of trying to say, okay, what can we do as a community to create jobs or wealth.
Mm.
If we can create wealth, because income is what you get from selling services. You sell services to
Mm.
someone, and the person pays you for those services. That's the income. But that is when you
Mm.
use that income to generate revenue, create something that can lead to, let's say, you can create jobs, you can create a lot of other things. That's where the wealth is.
Mm.
That's why, and that is where we as the immigrants have failed. You know,
Mm.
if you look at some, let's say like England, let's say England, all right. You see these guys like the Nigerian guys. I was watching. Sorry to adjust. I was watching a documentary in
Mm.
by the Nigerian guys, some Nigerian guys in New York. Guess what they did? They
Mm.
opened a suya place
Mm.
where they serve this Nigerian sewer. I think it's in Queens. They interviewed these guys. And these guys were saying, okay, when we came, it was difficult because that's what they say. We couldn't get a job, just all the jobs here and there. Then we got this
Mm.
idea, so they came together and opened this place. In the beginning, it was very tough, but then they were able because once you have something that the other people don't have, and then you have your customers, people come. And one thing, I always discover, but when we African businesses, the
Mm.
services, the reception, what they call the methodic, sometimes
Mm.
below all, it's not good. You know. But these guys, they did all of this thing, and they were asking these guys, very young guys just like you, from Nigeria, you know,
Mm.
and almost all of them working there are young Nigerians in New York. So the guy teased him about, he said, "What is your turnover approximately a month?" And the guy said, "Well, I don't want to tell you, but I can tell you it's about almost 100,000, you know,
Mm.
a month." That's the turnover because it's not a very big place, and that is where I think if we can just move away from this one, okay? Oh, the politicians are not doing
Mm.
this, oh, they are this, they are that, they are that. Because once you are doing something, trust me, you won't even think about them. So
Mm.
that's where I always think that we have to get a solution to our problems because they don't care about our problems. You know,
Mm.
they don't care about our problems. We have to find a way where we can be independent.
You're right.
Why is it possible for other Africans in England, in France, in the States, and other places,
But these places too, they have the population. They have the black population is small.
look, these guys, when you look at this place, when you look at this thing, most of the people coming to these guys are non-black people. They come, Suwa. In Sierra, we call it can. It's very sweet. I didn't know how to do this thing.
Mm.
I think it's like this is my Ethiopian friend, Ethio Star, behind this Handelsex school behind there. If you go there, you have to wait for hours. Got places packed full.
Mm.
Who are there? Not Ethiopians, not Eritreans, not these are Swedes.
Mm.
So we have to start looking at this. How are we gonna do this?
You're right.
Because otherwise, if we don't try to find a way how we can create jobs for ourselves, how many African businesses employ people, Black Africans? How many do we have?
But that's what we're talking about here.
You know,
With this new minimum wage, how many African black businesses can now start employing black people? we were having a low participation in business, and then we're having even lower number of black businesses employing black people.
Yeah.
And now with the new minimum wage increase, that would be almost like a tall order.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing.
Even going to be able to have somebody from your background work for you when you can't even pay them.
Yeah, you know.
How are you going to employ somebody
And
on full-time basis?
another thing also I notice is that sometimes, let's say if you have something, okay, you employ some people, you employ some guys, you know. I'm sorry to say this, is that all people sometimes, because you are the same with them, they don't take it
Mm.
serious. They come when they feel like, you know, and they'll start making unnecessary demand. This is what I had from other people, you know. So the thing is, I think there has to be this. What I was talking about, this civic education. People have to know, you know, the same right that you have as a worker is the same. You have also have obligations. If I come to your shop, I want to buy there, I expect you to treat me with, you know, the kind of respect that would make me to come back. But if I just say, okay, I go to an African restaurant and then I've already called about hours ahead, and I went there and then I have to wait for 2-3 hours to get the food I've ordered 3 hours ago, you think I'm going to go back there? No. So,
I think you have a point. You have a point, but still, there's a long journey. There's a long road for
it's
us.
a long journey. Another thing is we're coming again to this discrimination. You go to the bank to lend money, no, you won't get it. So
Of course,
so we have
from my own perspective.
yeah.
There's even the case of not being able to open a bank account.
You know. Yeah, what do you mean?
For
you have
myself, I have a bank account, no doubt. But when I was trying to open a bank account for my company,
yeah. Oh, it's a lot. It's a
I
lot.
tried 2 different banks, and I was surprised that they told me, okay, they'll get to me, and they never did.
Yeah.
Not until I tried the 3rd bank before I got it easily. But I began to wonder,
Yeah,
why didn't this bank open it for me? And why didn't they get back to me? That's the funny thing. They don't tell you anything. You ask
still get back to you.
For a corporate bank account, you get the response that, oh, okay, let's take your details. They take your details and they tell you, okay, we will get back to you. And they never call you back.
It's the same thing like they say, like, I don't know this. I remember there was a time here when we came students. Before now, you have all these things. Places, all right, you can decide where you want to go. Okay, like we went out of town, students, very happy. We went to this place. And then the bouncers told us, oh, well, you can't come in here because you have to have ordered a table. You have to book a table before you can come. We checked, the place was empty. And unfortunately, this is something that has been going on for so long.
Yes.
That what we are saying here is something that is ingrained in the system.
That is why when I was speaking about disenfranchisement, I meant what I was saying. I don't know if you understand it from my point of view. I said these things, it take time. They build up. This disenfranchisement means you being in a society and the society not wanting you.
Yeah.
You being in a society and the society not wanting you to participate. You walking up into any room and the room being made to be unpleasant for you, being made for you to be uncomfortable. I had an interview. I have spoken with a lot of people. You know, I had an interview with one woman called Maureen Odora Hoppers. One of her statements was clear. She said, "There is no single room
that is welcoming."
is made to be comfortable. You are always on your toes. Sometimes there is always this gang up against you being the odd one out. If you're too much, they try to put you in your place. If you're too less, they make you leave. You have to
Yeah,
conform. You have to lick
yeah.
somebody's ass. You know, that is why I know, no, but it's the truth. You have to
Yeah,
be
it is.
sucking
It
up to
is.
somebody. That is why you
So
see
all the
some people
time.
say, yeah, some people say, they say when you see a black man in the middle of other people being very happy, trust me,
It's
it's
pretending.
licking somebody's ass. And this is always the situation. When they
Yeah.
see you and know you're going to be a problem or you're going to cause problems for them, they don't allow you to progress. They allow the black person who cannot go against the system to
That
progress.
is
And then they use
the
that one
sellout,
black
right? The
person.
sellout.
Yes. And then they use that one black sellout to tell to the rest of the world, oh, see here, we inclusive. You're not
No,
inclusive. You only got
no,
one
no.
person who cannot speak the truth. Because if we speak the truth, the tables will shake. You know?
But,
And when you start to shake the tables, we'll find a middle ground.
yeah,
But if you don't want to shake the tables, you will perpetuate this situation and it will affect our children and our children's children.
yeah,
We have to shake the table so we can deal with the problems and then we get a middle ground and go along. That's how you got the countries like though they're not perfect, they still have their problems. But there's
yeah,
a bit of a progress for the black man in
yeah,
certain places like the UK
yeah,
and US
yeah,
because they shook the tables. We can't even
yeah,
talk about the racism that went on in Scandinavia because there's so much denial.
yeah.
You know, these things. Listen, black people not participating in elections here boils down to years and years of disenfranchisement and many rooms they get into made not being made to be comfortable. You always have to be on your toes, or you always don't want to. You don't. If you're not the type that likes conflict, you run out of a situation. Black people they're relocating every day from Sweden. I have friends who have left this country because they say no matter what you do, somebody who's not studied enough will still be your boss or gets a position. I've seen so many cases where people, instead of them to be promoted, they were told they don't have the right prerequisite, but they studied more than the other people. We have to speak the
Yeah,
truth so that the truth is going to
yeah,
set
no,
a
it
lot of
is.
people. This is why
I
we
mean,
are not acting. What
because
these people are saying, the politicians are saying, is true. When you feel emotionally down, that no matter what you do, they are going to look down on you. You don't want to vote. It's a mental thing. It's
yeah,
mentally
yeah,
stays
it
here.
is.
When you treat
It
people,
is.
when you
It is.
systematically bring people down, it comes to their brain.
Yeah,
We are lucky. We are first generation
yeah.
Africans.
I mean, yeah, we'll
There
be
are so
able
many
to. I mean,
blacks here who went through schools
yeah,
and graduated. Those ones now they already know the system that is not built them, but they cannot speak because then they know the outcome when they speak out.
yeah.
They gang up against you
I
when
think the
you speak
solution
out.
to this is for us to make sure that we work together, you know, and because if I always believe this, okay, if we can only pool our resources together, I mean, if they could just, I mean, I don't know if they could do that here, if they could just give us, let's say, how much the immigrant contribute to the Swedish economy, then we have that. Because now they just think that, I mean, oh, well, these people are just here living on welfare, they don't learn the language, they don't do this, they don't do that. But then,
That's the reason why we came out with the magazine. so
Yeah.
we can have
So
a place in the book stands so that you can
yeah,
see the black people who are doing things.
yeah,
You know,
because like this
that's
one,
why I say we need to participate in every level, in the
we
press,
have to,
elections,
we
in
have,
everything. We need to
and then
participate.
yeah, we can do this thing. You and I can do this thing, but then we have to get our people on board.
Yes.
How do we do that? That's the thing, you know. Because you were telling me like people, so because people as soon as they see something, the first thing they say, "Oh, he's making money," not knowing that
Yeah.
this is a sacrifice. This is a because
Sacrifice.
you have a belief, you have, let's say, a goal or motivation to bring people together. But most of the people they don't see that. What they see is,
It's a
oh,
terrible.
okay,
It's a terrible problem. It's a terrible problem
yeah, they
in our
want,
society.
yeah. So and that is just, and this thing is what these people they see and they use that. But if we
There's
can
a gap.
just, yeah,
There's a
if we
gap.
can, yeah, you know, and that is where I think again we just round up now. That is where again I think we the organizations have failed. They have failed terribly. Because if your goal as an organization, let's take for example, let's say the Nigerian blah blah blah, the Israeli blah blah blah, and all of this they are in their little corner, and each one of them is only concerned about the people in their, let's say, the Nigerian organization only caters for the Nigerians, all right? The Sierra Leone International follows life and all of this. So what you have all these little things out there. Instead of saying, okay, let's come together, hmm, and work together for the general good of the African or black population here. Have you ever heard any organization doing something and inviting the others to come to participate? No,
Mr.
they
Dempsey,
don't.
the problem is sometimes our people like to look down on their own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this organizing you're talking about now, if there is a white person taking the messages to them, they will talk about it in their groups. But you be a black person, then they will skip it. It's
Well, that
just
is
the way.
where, yeah. Well, that is where I think I come back to the Somalis. That's where they be, The
They're better
Somalis,
organizers.
if they see that you have ideas that can benefit them, and they have to, trust me, they will invite you to come and talk with the people. Tell them.
Yes,
They will call the meeting, and you will go there and you will address them. You tell them. And
that's true.
until we get along that place, is we're gonna be having this. We're gonna be having this conversation now. Our kids will be having this conversation, and the other
Mhm.
kids will be having this conversation. The thing is, even for us to prevent our kids going through this, we have to do something now.
You're right.
That's what we have to do. I was even telling someone, okay, all of these organizations they have, okay, what about a group of people coming together, okay, and having a very big organization called Organization of Africans and blah blah blah. Call everybody, and we sit down together to register a organization like that. Is very easy.
Hmm.
They, then people,
My brother,
like-minded
my brother,
people,
what they
mhm,
don't want is registering organization because, trust me, they're going to start fighting themselves over who's going to be leader. What you don't
I
want to
know,
do is trust me,
it's really crazy.
trust me.
I know,
You
it's
because
really
I
crazy.
don't. For me, I've thought these processes. I've already gone through it before. I was inviting them until I saw that within them they have deep political infighting
Differences,
in the
yeah,
different
yeah,
groups. And then you're going to have the problem you're going to have again is when one union head is changing
yeah,
hands. They normally change with
yeah.
fight
Every
with
two
the
years,
yes. They normally leave and don't come back, and they're not going to link you with the next leader. You have to start all afresh to get the new one. And then what happens when they break and form two factions? You'll be dealing with one faction. Immediately you bring in the next faction, faction lead.
But that's why you have to, like, let's say, like you and I have, we have similar ideas, you know. If we can get 2-3 other people and have this organization that is away from the people, you know. Because I believe, let's say, if you have an organization that is focused on something concrete that will benefit the community, let's like say, okay, you know what? Let's try to see if we can have adult language classes.
Yes.
We concentrate on that. In no time, because you will see that, because most of these organizations, they want the crowd. Why do they want the crowd? When they make the parties, the crowd will come. But a very serious organization that is focused doesn't need the crowd. When they see what you're doing, they will come.
Yes.
You know, and that is the kind of vision that I have. You know, but to meet the right people, to talk with them, to see that this is what we need to do. Because we know the problems. Now, what are we going to do to bridge this problem? And that is the only way I can see is for us to come together. Those people of like-minded think, you know, say, okay, you don't want to do anything for us? Okay, this is what we're going to do. You don't want to include us? Okay, this is what we're going to do. And when we do that, I think that's what most of these guys in England, the Nigerians, like in Brighton, in Deptford, and all this, Peckham, that's what they did.
Yes.
Because they themselves, when they went there, it was not easy for them.
No.
They saw this, say, okay, like this guy with the sewer painting in New York. Because if he was on the city, he said, oh, well, you know, I'll apply for this. You know, so, no, so fuck it. And so that is it. But I'll try to see if we can get another session the weekend.
Yes,
and see, and
let's do that.
Hopefully we'll try to get through to these people. I'm really working on something when I went to this workshop. But I will let you in when I put everything together.
All right, do that.
At the same time, we have this medium. We can always use it.
Yes.
You know, because I try to change it from just purely music to the music can come on sometimes, but then I have to have another topic.
Discussion.
You know?
Yes.
So that's the thing. And the funny thing is, people don't even understand that doing this thing as a hobby or whatever it is to reach out to them, you foot the bill. Like this one, I pay $50 a month.
You see?
Yeah.
You see?
I'm not even getting a single cent because I'm virtually doing this. And now I want to see if I can integrate this system with this 3D. So that we have this like more professional thing, like the one I had before.
Yes.
You know, and that's one. I mean, I already started, but then I don't know how to get this one, so I'm going to start reading up to see how I can integrate this. So, and that one cost. The good thing with that one is it's like $100 one purchase. Yeah. You know, like I think that's what most of these TV stations they use. They have them. You know, so it's like very professional. Like you have the one, like you have the couch and this and that and like that. You know, like you and I talking now, it will be like you will still on the couch there and I was still in the couch here, like we have on this. That's what they do. So the thing is that let's arm ourselves with this information and try to do the best we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was a nice conversation, you know, and see think of something else we can talk next week. And then,
All right. So there will be.
yeah,
I'll send you one I just did now, so you
yeah.
can post.
Because I'm trying to get, I was trying to tell people, yeah, if you have something you want to say, I told them, DM me, and then I can send you the link, you know.
Mm,
You can come
mm,
if you have a show you want something to this that you want to promote yourself. Fine.
mhm,
You know,
mhm,
I have a guy. I mean, I'll try to reach him. He lives, I think, in Helsingborg, or. But I also want to reach out to these artists here, like this,
mm.
so that they too can come and promote themselves.
Yeah, yeah. You know,
Mm.
everyone come in and talk, and
And yeah, yeah, just talk.
let's
So
deal with
you
the
reach
problem.
out.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
this one might be look very witty, but this one is reaching all over the world. Is the internet, it's worldwide.
Mm,
You know. So
mhm.
okay, Victor, man, thanks, man.
All right, man. All right,
Yeah.
man. Talk to you again.
So we
All
keep in touch. I will give you a call one of these days. All
right.
right.
All
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
All right.
Take care.
You too.
Have a good weekend.
You too, man.
Yeah. Okay.